Welcome everyone. I'm Emily Welsh, the Program Manager for the Principles of Manufacturing program. Today I'm joined by Charles Kruskov, Program Head of the MBA Program at Royal Roads University, Dr. Alberto Marroquin, Head of the Mechatronics Engineering at Galileo University, and Patricia Merzigos, Academic Coordinator at Galileo University. We will be answering questions throughout the webinar, so if you have questions, please type them into the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. To start, I want to give you a quick overview of the Principles of Manufacturing program. Our program began in 2018 as part of the MITx MicroMasters portfolio. And what we really wanted to do with this program is provide a high-quality online education for the true fundamentals of manufacturing, and we wanted them to be available to a audience for free. And in addition, we wanted to offer a credential to students at a minimum cost and be able to give people an accessible pathway for a graduate education. 2 years later, we're still going. We've had learners in 186 different countries. So we have a truly global reach, and we've had 810 unique learners earn at least one course certificate. We've also had 36 people finish the entire program and earn their credential. And exciting, we had the first 2 blended master's students join our campus this January to get started earning their master's degree here. And with your Principles of Manufacturing credential, you can either apply to MIT's master's, which is in Advanced Manufacturing and Design, and is an 8-month mix of classroom learning, as well as a project in industry, or you can apply to one of our 8 Pathway University programs and earn a master's degree from that Pathway University. Our Pathway Universities are global. We have them throughout the world. They are joined by Royal Roads University and Galileo University. And then just some feedback from our students. This is a quote from one of our 2 students who just joined us on campus in January. And they've really expressed that they didn't expect to be able to get their master's when they first started doing online courses, but they're happy that they worked through it and got to join the experience. So my brief spiel, you can contact our team at this email or find out more information about our masters. So I'll turn it over now to Charles to discuss the Roads program. Charles, just let me know when you change the slides.
Thank you and welcome. I trust that everything's good. You can hear me. So I'm presenting today from Royal Roads University in Victoria, British Columbia, a very beautiful spot. One thing that's a little bit different, I guess, from our university, I think the other schools and many of the other partner schools are presenting on different engineering programs and programs more in the technical fields. So I lead the MBA program at Royal Roads, and I'll talk about the MBA and our Master of Global Management, and I'll also mention our Doctor of Business Administration program. So next slide. So Royal Roads is located in Victoria, BC, which is very close to Vancouver, very close to Seattle. We're on Vancouver Island. It's the capital of British Columbia. And Royal Roads is a provincial university. I think next slide. Sorry. So Victoria is located, the provincial capital, and we're very close to Vancouver as well, as I mentioned. Next slide. So we are a provincially mandated university with about 5,000 students. And our focus, we were created in 1995, and our focus is on mid-career students. So students typically at Royal Roads are in master's programs, and they're working full-time while they continue their program. So we're like the MIT MicroMaster programs in that you continue to work full time while you're in the program. We have about 5,000 students in our different programs at Royal Roads. We have about uh, 15 or 20 undergraduate programs, then about 40 master's programs and 2 doctorate programs at the university. So 75% of our students are in master's programs, and you come in a cohort in a program and then proceed through. You do a short residency at the start of the program, and then through the MBA, you proceed through the program together as a cohort in the online format and come back for one short residency at the end, and then you get your master's. We do have on-campus programs, and it's something I'll talk about for international students who want to come to Canada. You may know if you come to Canada, then you get a 3-year work permit after you graduate if you are in an on-campus program. So students come for our Master of Global Management program, which is a master's program very similar to the MBA, but it's offered through the campus program and has really a wide range of international and domestic students who are taking that program. Our campus is very beautiful. You see the picture there of the castle. It's a National Historic Site in Canada. That was the former Governor General's residence for this region when the British were here. Okay, next slide. So this is what I mentioned. One thing, we have quite a lot of international students coming to Canada because of our work visa provisions, where if you study in Canada and you graduate from a program at a Canadian university, you get a 3-year work visa. Within that context, you can then apply for permanent residency, and this is the main immigration pathway actually into Canada now. So there's several 100,000 international students working towards their permanent residency by getting a degree in Canada. Next slide. So I'll talk about the 2 different programs. First, I'll focus on the program that I lead, our MBA program. So that program is delivered in what we say is a blended cohort format. So it's a blended program, meaning it has short residencies where you come and you take a 3-week residency at the start and you get to know your classmates, your teachers in that residency, and then you move into an online format. So then that online format lasts for about a year. And then you come back and you finish your second residency and do a research project. It's an applied research project for a company as part of your program. So the MicroMaster's credits, and something we were discussing with the MIT team is that we will now recognize in our MBA program individual courses that you've done in the Principles of Manufacturing program. So you can either take the whole MicroMaster program from MIT, and it's the Principles of Manufacturing, or any of the other 3 MicroMaster programs, supply chain, the data, and the economic development program, and bring those in, and we'll recognize that as 3 courses or 9 credits in our program. Or for the Principles of Manufacturing, because individual course topics have exams, we would recognize individual course topics into the program up to 6 credits. So 2 courses that you would complete, which are your specialization courses in the program. One thing that always appealed with the MicroMaster program is this idea that people have a lot of experience. Our students in our MBA program, you need at least 7 years of work experience. In our Master of Global Management, it's 3 years of work experience. This means that the students have quite a bit of experience. The average age in our program is around 40. And so we have quite an interesting and diverse group of people in the program. The MBA program, as I say, is in this blended format, and it's for people who continue to work full time. Yeah, one thing I mentioned, I saw a question there about whether one would be able to come into the programs. We do what we call flexible admission. If you do not have a full bachelor's degree, you are able with your work experience. So typically you would have at least 10 years of work experience with managerial experience. And even if you don't have your bachelor's degree, then you can apply through flexible assessment in order to enter one of our master's programs at Royal Road. Next slide. The Master of Global Management, as I mentioned, is an on-campus program, and I see what's the career trajectory. The Global Management program is very similar to an MBA in terms of the courses. You take a range of business courses across the different business functions, HR, marketing, finance. You would use your principles of manufacturing MicroMaster courses as specializations within that program. And then the types of jobs people get, just a wide range of different managerial jobs in Canada until, as everywhere, this is very recently, we had very low unemployment rate. The unemployment rate in Victoria was about 3%, and so people were easily finding jobs across different fields. It depends a bit on which background you have. If you have the principles of manufacturing, you would be looking at more technical work, often for companies manufacturing either in British Columbia or in Ontario, for example. Your work visa is good anywhere in Canada. So, okay, next slide. So, as I say, the MicroMaster courses that you can take these prior to coming to Royal Roads, or you can apply, be accepted into the Royal Roads program, and then take the MicroMaster courses as part of the program. Because you're working online or in the MGM on campus, you're able to take those MicroMaster courses while you're doing the program, and then we'll transfer those in. As I say, if you've done the full program, it's 9 credits or 3 courses into the program. If you've done individual courses, those transfer, one topic transfers as one course. And if you have any questions, you can contact me and I can talk to you about that. Next slide. I just mentioned the DBA program. We have a new Doctor of Business Administration. This is something that a number of people are interested in. Perhaps you already have a master's degree. This program requires you to have a master's already completed. You can use, build off of your MicroMaster program and your previous degrees. It's also offered in a blended format that allows you to continue to work full-time while you're doing this program. So if it's something that you're interested in, if you're interested, it's the only English language Canadian DBA program that's available in this format. So happy to talk with you more about that program. Next slide. So here's information for Royal Roads, for our enrollment advisors, for myself. If you're an international student from outside of Canada, they have special advisors for the international students. In the MGM program, I see a question, what are the total number of credits for the program? I believe it's 42 credits, which is about 12 classes, plus you have a research project that you do through that program. So the classes then are offered over a 12-month period where you take the classes in 4 quarters, and then you can do an internship or a research project at the end of your classes that you take on campus. It meets the 18-month requirement for you to get your 3-year work permit. Yes, there's IELTS and TOEFL requirements. I would encourage you to look on the website. They're pretty standard for different universities. I've been away from it for a little while. I don't want to give you a number, but it's fairly similar across most universities. We do have pathway programs if you need English upgrading before you come in the program. In terms of, there is some financial aid available. A lot of the financial aid is tied, for example, with Canadian students, but you could contact our admissions advisors and they can talk about what different financial aid may be available. How do you apply? Go to the Royal Road site and speak with an enrollment advisor, and it has the information on application. Yes, and you asked if students don't have a bachelor's degree but a solid background and a MicroMaster credential, then that would be, as long as you had the work experience requirement, you would be eligible for the programs, the master's programs at Royal Roads. How long will the MicroMaster program certificate be honored. I don't think that we would say that there's a time limit. Once I would say right now we don't have a time limit, so I probably wouldn't wait 20 years, but if you come back in a couple of years, that's fine. Not going to be a problem.
Great. That looks like all the questions. Thank you so much, Charles.
Thank you very much. Thank you for running the slides.
Next, we'll transfer over to Dr. Alberto American at Galileo University. All right. You should be able to show your slides.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Thank you very much for this opportunity. We are going to talk about the Mechatronics Master Program from Galileo University. But first, I think that, well, this is a very short agenda that we have prepared for this session. First, we have to establish where Guatemala is, because sometimes it's confusing where it is. So we are at the south of Mexico. We have borders with Belize at the east, Mexico to the west and north, Honduras and El Salvador to the southeast. And we are around 108,889 square kilometers. We have beautiful landscapes unique to the region, from highlands to rainforest, coast, and waterfalls. Guatemala is distinguished by all this. We have a competitive advantage. We are a natural bridge between the Americas, and we have access to both oceans, so we have access to main markets of the world. And we have modern infrastructure, developed telecommunication service, highly skilled labor, as well as technology and resources that makes us a land to discover. And from our university, well, we are a young university. We were established in 2000, but as we were talking with one of you before, this university has much more experience, because we have like 40 years. We were the engineering department of another university, and we grew so much that we have to make another university. And our main focus is engineering. Engineering and technology, sorry. For Mechatronics Master, we are quite flexible. You can either have your MicroMaster, and then you go to our program, which is the Automation and Industrial Control program, or both ways. Or if you are a full student, you can dedicate entirely. Then perhaps you can do both, but I would not recommend it. I think it's better to focus in one thing, and then you can do the other. The goals achieved by the program is to develop, well, it's a quite technical program. It's in automation and industrial control, and practically you can develop in almost every industry. You will learn how to design, implement, develop control systems with the latest technology. You will have the fundamentals of project management and project development, but we are focused in virtual automation and digital control, which constitutes the trends of Industry 4.0. It's about the features. Well, the lectures are in Spanish. We are 100% online, virtual classes, virtual labs, personalized education, contents and resources online all the time, and you get personal guidance. Perhaps in a few years, with our internationalization program, we can be able to teach our classes in English, but it's not going to be in a very short time. This is an overview of the curriculum of our program. It's in 4 quarters, and we have 9 credits by quarter. have an extracurricular activity. You have to get an industrial automation certification. We have agreements with, especially with National Instruments, and you can take the certification of National Instruments, but we are flexible and we can consider other industrial automation certifications. And you have to get a design certification. We also have agreements with SolidWorks, for example, or Autodesk, and you could take one or two of these certifications. This earns you 3 credits more. This is how all the coursework interrelates. It's not and about the application process, well, you have to go to information. You have to give me a copy of your information of the passport. You can scan your bachelor diploma. Sorry, it's a must that you have to have a bachelor degree here, and you have to make a letter stating why you want to pursue this mechatronics program, and if you're and your CV. If you're admitted, you will receive an acceptance letter. This is the costs. We have 9 credits. Oh, I'm seeing if there are any scholarships. Well, we should consider your case because normally here in Guatemala, scholarships for a master degree is not so often. At the moment, all our students are working, and when they are working, they consider this as a part-time student, so they have the enough resources to get financed. But we should consider your case. This is the cost. This is the information. I think I went very quickly with all my presentation, but if you have any questions, you can contact me at this email. Sorry, the webpage is also in Spanish, but it can be interesting for you. If you have any other questions, I will be happy to answer them.
All right, we have one question in the Q&A. How many students will be admitted into your master's program?
Well, if any of the students which are in the MicroMasters want to come to my program, they are very welcome. This means we can have cohorts about 25 or 30 students per year.
We have one more question. In what language this master's program is taught?
The program is in Spanish. As I told you before, we have a plan to internationalize this program, but it's not going to be in a near future. But the master degree is in Spanish.
All right. What career support or advising does your program provide?
Well, you get a tutor, and you can ask him anything. And if you have more complicated questions, you can direct these questions to me personally, and I will answer them. But I think that you are meant especially about who is especially interested in this program. Well, most of our students are electrical and computer engineering, electronic engineering, systems engineering, IT, yeah, and mechatronics engineering. Do you have any other questions?
All right, I think that was all of the questions. Thank you very much, Alberto, for your time.
Okay, thank you. And
now we'll pass it over to Patricia,
okay,
who's also at Galileo University.
okay, just 1 second, please. Okay, thank you very much. It's all yours.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Patricia, as they've said, and I am the academic coordinator for the School of Science, Technology, and Industry at Universidad Galileo. And on this occasion, I'm presenting the master's program in Reengineering and Assurance Technology. First of all, I would like to show you this picture. As Alberto was saying earlier, Guatemala is a country of many colors, many cultures. And as you can see in this picture, this is the city of Guatemala. It is our capital, with the background of our beautiful volcanoes. So I would very much like for everyone to come and visit us. FACTI, which is the way we call our school, its initials, is the School of Science, Technology, and Industry, and we were established in 1998 as the second school of Universidad Galileo. The Reengineering and Assurance Technologies program is one of our first master's program. We started out with 2, and today we have approximately 32 postgraduate programs with 1-year degrees in a postgrad, 2 years degrees in a master's, and then we have 2 more years in doctorate degrees. We work the areas of business management, engineering, finance, human resources, productivity in agriculture, and public administration. Those are the main areas FACTI is working. And it's also important to state that we have approximately 6, if I'm not wrong, online programs. Of these, we have been ranked in our business online program by Hamilton Global Intelligence and eMagister as one of the top 20 of the world. This for us is very important, as you can guess. And in Latin America, we are among the top 10. We also have, we are the only ones actually in the Central American region with a ranking according to these institutions. Our faculty is composed of professionals with expertise in those areas in which they teach. They have work experience both locally and abroad. All our professors have at least 1 master's degrees, and most of them have a doctorate degrees as well. And they are either in high management positions or business owners. And besides this part of them, the very professional part, they have a great love for teaching. So they, besides having their own job, they come in and they teach and they share their knowledge, and they really, really like it. Now, our program in Reengineering is a program with a target of professionals that want to acquire an adequate balance between solid theoretical knowledge and a practical application of this knowledge in order to improve competitiveness and to achieve and get more modern administration of processes in business, especially in this time where we are seeing that processes have to change. So this will be a great tool for them. It is basically for business managers, process or system managers or supervisors, as well as business owners. We have a mix of students as far as the age is concerned. Maybe the average would be around 30, 35 years, but we have people coming straight out of their bachelor's degrees and people with some experience. It is not a must to have job experience to enter the program. Our graduates, they will develop managerial abilities, decision-making, and resolution of complex problems. Those are the tools that we are giving them. And through the comprehension of these process, design, and fault analytics, because what we're looking at here is to see where we can find a fault in one of our processes and then design in order to avoid them or to change them. They will be capable of working with a diverse group of people. As you know, Guatemala is composed by a very diverse population. So this degree will give them that ability, as well as comprehension of the new business models and their effect on processes and systems. When you ask about where can they work, anybody who does this degree will be able to work in any type of business or sector, be it service area or production area, because this analytical tool, in order to improve processes and in order to improve competitiveness, can be applied in any of them. Our syllabus is, normally the program duration is 2 years. We have this divided into 2 years. The first year is divided in 4 quarters with 3 required courses per quarter, except in the first quarter where a seminar is taken as a graduation requisite. This seminar, as we will see further on, is on information technology. The second year is elective, and we're talking here about the MicroMaster's program. You can take the courses and those can be included as your second year in order to achieve your master's degree. We would evaluate which courses you have taken. We normally suggest our local students to take a postgraduate year. This could be in marketing, this could be in finance, in business, in any other of the postgraduate degrees we have, but the masters, the MicroMasters would be included in these as well. Courses may be taken in English if required. Normally, our courses are given in Spanish, but we could do them in English. The online programs are fully in Spanish, but as I say, we can have them in English. I would say by next year. This is the first year, our syllabus, where you can see we would be taking courses on business strategies, on fault analysis, on statistical analysis, because that's the way of improving these systems. There is a special course on systemic thinking that helps people to do this new change in the processes that are required. Our application process is basically the same as presented before. You would have to send in an information page of your passport with a scanned image, scan of your bachelor's diploma, because we do need the bachelor degree, and a copy of your resume. When admitted, you will receive an acceptance letter in order to know that you have been admitted. The costs per quarter are $925. The tuition fee is $750 for 9 credits, and the enrollment fee is $175. This is every quarter of our program. You can look into more information as in this website, which is the website for the university, or you can also send us an email at facticonsultas@galileo.edu, where we would be answering any other question or more specific question that you may have. I don't know if I have any questions.
We have a few questions. The first one is there any language requirement for international students?
No. As long as they can speak English or Spanish, we're fine.
They don't have to take a placement test?
No, no placement test.
Okay. And what are the housing options when studying on campus?
If they come on campus, there are several housing facilities that do not belong to the university. They are around the university, but they can also rent out an apartment or something they find suitable. There are special apartments for students, but it would be entirely up to them to what they want.
For how long will the MicroMaster's program certificate be honored for application to your master's program?
I beg your pardon, I didn't hear you.
For how long will the MicroMaster's program certificate be honored for application to the master's program?
Once you get your certificate, it's fine. It doesn't expire, if I'm understanding you correctly. If you have your certificate, it would be valid.
Great. This is probably a good question for both Charles and you. When does application open for your university, and what is the application deadline?
We have an open application program. Anybody can enter in the first 3 quarters of the year. So if they apply in December, they would be admitted in January, and then again in April, and then again in July. We don't have at the last quarter any applications.
Charles, could you tell us about application deadlines for Royal Roads? I think you're muted, Charles.
Yeah, does that work?
Yes.
So the application deadlines at Royal Roads in our MBA program has 2 intakes per year, and our Master of Global Management has 3 intakes per year. So then the deadlines are always about 2 to 3 months ahead of the intake. So basically, there's, different programs will always have an application that's available. So our MBA program, we have an entry that comes in at the end of July. So that application deadline will be around May. So I can post, I'm going to post the link to our application process. You can just look at the program and look at the individual dates. And we have admissions advisors who help people through the process and make sure you get all of the information that you need for the application.
Great. If anyone has any more questions, if you could type them into the Q&A. If not, I think we may be done. All right. I'm not seeing any more questions. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today, especially our presenters. Thank you guys so much for your time. When the webinar ends, there will be a survey for the audience that should automatically redirect, and we'd very much appreciate it if you would take that feedback survey. So again, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.